I am on my way to get on the Apostle Islands boat tour. And it starts at 1:15, it leaves at 1:15, and it is 1:05 because I had an hour and a half drive to get here. There was construction, and then I had to find parking. So they don't tell you about that. All the city parking here, or a lot of it, is only 2-hour parking. Well, my boat tour is 2.5 hours long, so that doesn't work. So hopefully, I know I ended up paying $10 for parking to make sure that I would have a car where I left it when I got back. I will make the trip. I will calm down and it'll be good. I just don't like being this rushed, and I did allow myself enough time. It's just that I needed more. The Apostle Islands boat tour on Lake Superior is a 50-mile trip that takes approximately 2.5 hours. You will see 19 out of the 22 Apostle Islands, including Devil's Island, Raspberry Island, Michigan Island, Basswood Island, Sand Island, Hermit Island, and Manitou Island.
About 150 yards. All we see here is, if you look to our left, there's a little clay bank. That's where they piled some of the overburden from this quarry. And then just past there, there's a little grass opening, and that's where there's a trail up to the quarry here. Actually, the lighting's good today. You can see the remnants of the dock in the water there for that quarry. So that's where they would have loaded the boats. The next island up, though, the quarry on Hermit Island, is right next to shore, so we'll give you a good view of the brownstone quarry up there. Other things to look for as we travel along. It's pretty common for us to see bald eagles anymore. Watch for their white heads up in the trees. The mature ones are much easier to spot than the immature when it erodes off the cliffs. It was hard enough rock, you can build up to 6-story tall buildings with it. The most famous building probably built out of this is the Chicago Tribune building. Well, there's 2 ducks though there, those are mergansers. But you can also see there's a couple big timbers down there and a bunch of boulders. That's what's left of the dock foundation that was used for loading the boats at. Well, as I say, the real peak time of quarrying was 1870s, 1880s, but the quarry stayed open until the early 1900s. To our left, you'll see a couple places where the cliffs have caved in and collapsed. That's unusual because remember, this is the same sandstone we use for building material, brownstone. And so it doesn't collapse very often. Those collapses happened 3 years ago. Now we're almost right at long-term average water levels. The record would have been over 2 feet higher than present levels with the water level of the lake. If you look at the rocks on our left here, it's the same kind of sandstone, but you might notice here there's a bunch of orange, light green, and gray growing on it. That's lichen. Lichen's a combination of algae and fungus growing together. The species of lichen we have on this lake tend to grow very slowly. They tell me it could take up to 40 to 50 years for lichen to regrow if you scraped it off the rock there. To our right, you'll see two buildings here. The one in the middle of it is historic. The one to the left is actually a NOAA Weather Observation Center. You'll see a small short building with a red roof there. That was for storing flammables. Those were brought into each of the lighthouses when they started using kerosene as their main fuel, because it was quite flammable, easy to have explode.
There are just about 90 species of fish in Lake Superior. There's everything from walleyes, northern pike, king salmon, coho.
When this lighthouse was first built, the building was just big enough to house the headkeeper and his family. But then in the early 1900s, they built that big brick building to the right of that. That's the fog signal building. And they needed more help tending that. So they expanded the lighthouse building so that they could have an assistant keeper and second assistant keeper. If you look at the stairs going up from the dock, you'll notice there's light rail on the sides. So for heavy stuff, supplies that needed to go up to the lighthouse grounds, Raspberry Island was noted for its gardens and its croquet field.